Good morning, welcome over here to Wild Wild Fishing. Today we're gonna do a how-to video on the NED Rig. How to use it, how to rig it up. Well, it's not really rigging it up, it's just tying it on. And then how to use it, the different ways you can use it, the different types of baits out there that you can use. Manufacturers of baits, I should say. They make all different, all the manufacturers made it, now that it's taken off and it's done so well for catching fish. And we'll go through a couple different ones that I use. And let's get it on the water. Looks nice out here today. A little windy, but let's make it happen. See you guys on the water. Not a bad one. It's a big one. Bigger. Fish number one in the Z-Rig. Or NED Rig. Oh, not a bad one either. Number two. This one's on the Z-Man. First one was on the Guggen Squad bait. A little smaller. Healthy fish though. That water is warm. Whew. Last one. Gotta get more, I guess. No! Empty! Can't open the box. Okay. Empty! Why? That's a good one. Ooh, that one's got some shoulders on it. Another solid. Oh yeah, that's a keeper. Another 15-inch solid fish. Swim free, buddy. I don't know. rig it upside. Another one. Number 4. Alright, we'll see how well this works. So this is just, I'm going to try making my own rattling type NED rig. Profile wise. Color wise it's different obviously, but profile wise very close in size to the actual NED rig worms. The Sticko is the Bass Pro Shop Sticko. And then I just got these rattles. Not as loud as the Guggen Squad rattles, but we'll see how it does. And you just take it, you feed the rattle in, set a bait. You can see that the rattle's gone. There's a little bit of rattle to it. It's not as loud as the Guggen Squad one. But since I'm out of the Guggen Squad ones, gotta buy more. We'll try making our own. See how well this works. Little thinner bait, but about the same size, same profile. Little guy. Number 5. Let you go if you stop moving. Number 5. This is the NED Rig setups and the manufacturers that I use. Here are the 3 that I personally use. Got the Z-Man Finesse TRD, the Guggen Squad Rattling Ned, and the Bass Pro Shop Sticko. As you can see here, profile wise, all of these baits are about the same size. These 2 in particular are the same size pretty much. They are meant for the NED Rig. That's the whole premise behind the design for those 2, the Rattling Ned and the Z-Man TRD, Finesse TRD. The Sticko really isn't, I don't think, necessarily designed with that in mind, but you can use it as a alternative if you don't have the other 2. This is the jig head. It's a shroom jig head. This is a Z-Man. I think it's Pro Shroom is what they are called. Jig head. It's got the mushroom jig head design, and then it's got a little bait keeper right here, if you can see that. And the way this is designed or intended to be used, first off, you can use it a couple different ways. You can swim it along and just keep it popping right above the weeds if you want, or pop it at the top like a little top water, like the bait fish are trying to escape from, feeding fish. Or you can let it go to the bottom. The way it's intended to be used in flat, sandy bottom situations is you can take it and it'll rock back and forth if you let it sit at the bottom. Make it look like a bait fish just feeding. You can see it just stands straight up. But it'll do the same thing in the water. You pop the line a little bit, it'll rock back and forth. The tail on here, the worm will just stand up, it'll wobble back and forth. I use spinning rod setups. I'm pretty sure that's about the only way you can do these, just because of how light these are. I think they're anywhere from 1/10 of an ounce to 1/5 of an ounce. My rod setup that I use here is it's a Cabela's. I think it's like medium light, 7-foot rod. I use that to get the whipping action out of the tip, so it can cast further. The reel I use is a 2500 series Daiwa. I don't think you really want to go much bigger than that, because you run into issues with the bigger line. Their bigger reel is just heavier. You don't need all the line because you don't cast very far, being that it's such a light bait anyhow. And then I normally line it. I use 20-pound braid, and then I go to an 8 or a 10-pound fluorocarbon leader. Works great for what I do with it. Obviously, if you're gonna catch bigger fish, you might run into some issues with it. The other day I did hook into a 5-pounder, took me in the weeds. I did manage to get it out of the weeds, and then I just turned and unhooked. You can catch big fish with them. It's not just a small fish lure. Yes, you will catch a lot of small fish, but you will eventually catch big fish. You just got to be in the right areas for them. Z-Man also makes this TRD ticklers. It's a little tube bait for the NED Rig setup, as you can see here. It's just a little bit small. It's like a small tube, basically, is what it is, but it gives you a little more action with the tail and stuff like that. Smallmouth in mind for that. Z-Man also makes it's a TRD bug. It's like a little beaver tail for the NED Rig setup. This one you can fish more at the bottom. All great baits for catching a bunch of fish. Number 6. Little guy. As I said before, there is a couple different ways to use this bait. Today what I've been doing is I've just been swimming it, casting it, letting it get to the weeds, swimming it, basically, so it just goes over the top of the weeds up and down. And they've been hitting it like it's a moving little bait fish. The other way you can use it is if you're in kind of clear, I mean, you can use it in weedy areas too. It's not super thick weeds, is you can let it hit the bottom and it'll just rock back and forth, and then you just pop it, work it like a jig, and it'll rock back and forth. It imitates like a bait fish feeding on the bottom. Works good in clear sandy areas and stuff like that for smallmouth. If you're bed fishing for smallmouth, the smallmouth hate these things. I don't know what it is. These things get anywhere near a smallmouth bed, the smallmouth just hammer it. So just a great little bait to use. And if you want to get kids hooked on fishing and not have them use a bobber with live bait, this is a great bait to use. It's easy for kids to cast because you use a spinning reel. You can put this on the push stop bait casters too, the fully enclosed bait casters, I should say. Works great on those. And it's just got the single hook, which is no different than a bobber setup. but kids can learn how to, you know, use a moving bait instead of just watching a bobber and catch fish with them. I mean, they're just an awesome bait. Great bait to get kids hooked on fishing, and a great bait to just catch fish. Number 7. Number 7. All right, that is it for me today. Hope you found the video I made today informational about the NED Rig. Hope you guys try it out. All in all, another good day on the water. Caught 7 fish on the NED Rig. Caught 3 or 4 on the Z-Man. 1 or 2 on the Sticko, and I think at least 3 on the Guggen Squad rattling net. So all of them work. Just personal preference. It's all up to you on what you want to do with them, which ones you want to buy. Price wise, they're all about the same. I think the Bass Pro Shop Sticko is a little cheaper. But like I said, it's not necessarily intended for the use of the NED Rig. You can just use it because it's about the same size and same profile. That is it for me today. It's about 7:20 this morning. I gotta go home, do my real job. If you like this stuff, click the like button, you know, thumbs up. You can ring the bell for notifications and subscribe. I'll keep doing this stuff. I have fun doing it. I have fun editing the videos and stuff like that. Keep on fishing, and I'll catch you on the next one. Later.